Good day, Nigerians, and all lovers of good things in Nigeria. I'm using this opportunity to commiserate with the JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, yes, on the mass failure recorded by its customers and even the death of that precious girl who knows what that lady can be in the nearest future. She can end up becoming the wife of a president, becoming a senator, becoming someone who would have changed the good narrative of education or even other sector in Nigeria. Alas, that she died, we cannot but empathize, sympathize, and feel so touched with the JAMB registrar, the parents, and even all stakeholders. Besides, even the only person recorded that has passed
the
away.
problem and the affected centers, we are conscious of the painful damage it has inflicted on the reputation of JAMB. As registrar of JAMB, I hold myself personally responsible including for the negligence of the service provider and I unreservedly apologize for it.
We had others who are depressed. We had others who were shattered, whose hopes and aspirations were shattered just because of the poor performance. Of course, an adage in Yoruba says, "Bọ́mọdé bá ṣubú, á wo wájú." Wọ́n ní àgbàlagbà tó bá ṣubú, á wo ẹ̀yìn wò. Yes, when a small child falls, he looks at the front, hey, and come on, and an adult will fall down, look at the back and say, oh, come on, what has made me to fall? That is essentially is what has played out, and we should all learn. Professor Ishak Oloyede is not a mean man in this kind of job. He's been doing that almost a decade. Even though he's not a computer scientist, he's not a scientist, but his skills, his knowledge has surpassed even those who have actually read sciences and what have you. He has demonstrated that he is a professor par excellence, and we must commend him for that. He's been doing that for the past 9 years, even up to 10 years. But when this has happened, of course, this is not the first time students will be failing. But of course, this is absolutely unpalatable when we have that statistical record of failure. But this is now left for the board to look back, sit down, and take a recursive look at what has transpired within the course of the examination. Look at the IT unit. There might be the need to overhaul the IT unit. Then, of course, there could be a way of sabotage. I am not saying that. Of course, I do not have any evidence to say that. But of course, when things happen this way, you just have to look inward and say, what has happened? Come on, if there are staff that you have, staff members you have so much vowed for, and you are able to have so much confidence in them, but sometimes, somehow, anything can play out anywhere, anyhow. So you just have to, again, look inward, then overhaul the IT unit, and then ensure that you have a formidable team that will not sabotage your effort. Yes, it is not easy to have the strong and have competent ones as the Japa syndrome now. Hey, everybody don't Japa until law. So America, until law, see UK. They are everywhere, and the IT expert we have in Nigeria, They have deserted the Nigerian educational sector and for greener pasture. But the ones you have, hey, hold on to them and say, this one, oh, they're not going to go. And you are able to give better remuneration, and then the IT unit be well overhauled in such a way that the facilities needed to ensure that they have the better things, and ensure that you keep eyes on what people are doing. Because, for example, that of Lagos and the all those centers that we had itches. Of course, it is not only in Lagos State, though we have that very high record in Lagos State that was so alarming. But in other places, we found students with good results, even at O level, and best students just becoming Goliath in the hand of David. Yes, JAMB 2025 became just a David, and you are just seeing Goliath just falling 150, 170, 180 something. And then people who champions in mathematics and whatever scoring poor marks. And then we just imagine that if we take that statistics and then we begin to see what has actually played out. Centers having issues, that again could be another problem. And I want to say categorically to Professor Isha Koloyede, if God still gives you that grace to still lead JAMB in a couple of years to come. Of course, and if federal government is saying, yes, you have done your best, and another person is being nominated or being appointed by the president to become the head of JAMB, then let such a person again look inward and again look at this area. We do not have enough centers in Nigeria. Besides not having enough centers, now the centers, the issue of asking somebody to leave Owo to Akotokpo, leave Owo to Agadagba, leave Owo to a far distance, a far state, it's unheard of. There's a way where you can also yes, JAMB in recent time during the era of Professor Iloyede, permit me, sorry if I use that word, JAMB has become the good ATM machine for federal government. Yes, the 6 billion, 5 billion, 4 billion, and all those billion, you remit to federal government. Yes, that money, if you remit to federal government, sorry to say, if they use it to conduct election, they use it to do one thing or the other, you cannot query government. But why don't you, from your hand, you pay 600 naira to centers, which does not commensurate with what the input, what they put into it, or if that has changed. Because I was once a director of ICT, and for years, at least for 5 years, I got to know about what happens in JAMB too. If JAMB will use that 6 billion, 5 billion, 4 billion you remit to federal government coffers, decide to say, okay, from each senatorial district, decide to establish a standard CBT center owned by JAMB, then we are going to have a good success. So if JAMB has such facilities scattered all about in this senatorial district, so or good strategic places, Professor Isa Koyoyede has spent about that's close to 10 years in JAMB, 9 years plus in JAMB, or thereabout. And if each year the money being remitted to federal government, or even the money given to schools, hey, they are the best in JAMB, the best in admission, the best in this and that, we could also use such money to again get standard CBT center owned by JAMB. Then this could have solved the situation. Somebody would have traveled. I've seen situations where people have come to sleep in my house because they are traveling from one state or one place to another, and they have to say, okay, oh, we'll make your place a stopping point to continue our journey or get something else, and we have accommodation. So this in our own time, yes, we could have, many of us wrote JAMB, even though personally I had a first class in mathematics, but like I will tell you, I wrote JAMB 3 times. In fact, the third JAMB result came when I was in going to 300 level. So I wrote the second JAMB when I wrote, yes, I would say third JAMB. I wrote third JAMB when I was in 100 level. So I've written 2 JAMB results, I had 2 JAMB results and whatever. And yet, so it does not necessarily say, oh, because you have distinctions all around and whatever you could have. But in our own time, the thing was not as tedious like this, and the issue of internet of a thing was not there. But the internet of a thing should bring an added advantage to us and not just a problem, which this in one way or the other must have created. As a matter of fact, we are advancing in the age of technology. What do I say? We are advancing in technology, and so we must not say we go back to the Mungo Park era, go back to the Mungo Park age to be able to say we continue the way we are doing as it was in the beginning. So it's now and never shall be, war without end. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the church. Pardon me. But of course, we'll not be going that way and using that route. But JAMB should just take necessary steps to ensure that the right things are done. We should learn our lessons from this area. And then for others who turn this to ethnic issue, no, 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 no. We shouldn't. Professor Isha Koloede has tried in the past years, and he must be commended for that. So for people coming out to now say, oh, it is against one ethnic, it's against that ethnic, that is a fallacy, and that is not ideal. Even though JAMB also made steps to ensure that those who missed or who had one issue or the other because of the statistical record they had to conduct another exam, mainly in that state or in Lagos or in areas where they were affected. But we could see other skirmishes of challenges here and there. But the time too was not enough for some who were, and in fact, they were writing WAEC as at that time when some got information that they were asked to come and write JAMB. So in this case, we would have time to plan. Then, as an IT expert, we might not need to rush into releasing results as such. We can filter and check some things, and before result, it is not, yes, oh, we are, bravo, you wrote an exam 8 a.m., the result is out 10 a.m., oh, bravo to JAMB. We could use create enough time to ensure that, oh, we have the best. An adage in Yoruba says, it is not when we release the result and again we now find out huge challenges and whatever, which will have exposed the board. So what we need to do is get the result, get things necessarily identified and say, oh, we'll sort things out. And then when the result is eventually released, oh, we'll have a fantastic result and they will not be blamed anywhere. Yes, I want to give it to Professor Isha Koloede. Yes, I appreciate him always. And yes, he is not a perfect man, and neither am I a perfect person or anyone. It's only God who is perfect. But I want to say that he came publicly to admit that, oh, he took responsibility. I have not seen, maybe, I don't know, maybe in my dream, I've not seen leaders who will come up boldly and shedding tears. Some said he was shedding crocodile tears, some said he's shedding elephant tears. Whatever tears you might want to call it, this man is sincere. This man is passionate about what he's doing. I am not a man. I don't know the intent of the man or of the mind. But for him coming out boldly and taking responsibility, looking at the person who died, looking at those who also harmed themselves because they poorly performed. This is really commendable that on his part that he has come to take responsibility and say, oh, well, this is not good enough for the board that has had good results for past years, and now that this thing is just coming this way. But I want to appeal to parents. Let's also be patient with the board. We know a result will be out for those who retook the exam. But in any case, we JAMB as lessons to learn. Then students in this era, the issue of phone, they pick up phone, they do this, they do that, and whatever. The technology is supposed to be an added advantage, just like I said earlier. But today, students are taking too far. Some of them are not reading. Yes, we have those who are exceedingly brilliant, and of course, don't up to them. But for some who are just average, and they've taken technology so far in such a way that they've been using phone on the other side and they will not be studying very well. So we appeal to parents, please guide your children and your world to ensure that they are reading as expected and they prepare, because if JAMB will still be the midwife between the O level and the universities, then it must be a bridge which everybody will have to try to cross, and don't wait until you get to the bridge before you know how to cross it. So start planning ahead. Let students let them buckle up their belts, stop, and then be ready to study. In those days, Yes, I said I made a first class. It was not easy to bury yourself in the library. Oh, some books you get to the library and looking for this, and you get there and you get back to the to the shelf again. You'll be looking for that book. Somebody somewhere at any point in time was taking it up. And then there was no internet for you to start searching and for you to start reading. So you bury yourself in the library and be reading. But today we found with pleasure students are reading, and some of them with all these miracle centers, which JAMB has tried to cope with the internet of a thing with the CBT. But to every coin, there are two sides, even three sides. So JAMB should take cognizant effort to understand the pros and cons, the two sides and even three sides of the coin with the way the team has played out, and uphold the integrity of the board. We salute the board for job well done, and we want to commiserate once again with the parents of those who love their life, their life, and for those who got themselves harmed, those who have been depressed and whatever, saying, oh, especially the brilliant ones, those who are, well, don't let me say mediocre, and those who are not too strong academically, who still performed fairly okay, or who scored below 200, who say, oh, well, that's my own handwork. But for those who are exceeding brilliant and they had issues with center some. I got a call of someone who said, oh, my son was jammed by jam because the center, when I said, oh, sorry, it's an issue that it is better imagine than experience. For that child that stopped eating, say, oh, what did he do and whatever. I said, oh no, well, tomorrow is another time. So we appeal to students, please prepare very well. We appeal to parents, please let's put them on the right tool to be able to work. And JAMB, please learn your lessons from this. Then federal government, they still high time you chose to please give education the right the right perspective, the right support, that education will begin to fly. Once again, we salute all the courage of those who still went back to sit for the exam, and those who were hurt by one thing or the other. That we pray that we have a better Nigeria, and technology has come, and it has come to stay. But we must take good advantage of this technology to be able to ensure that we get the best out of what we have. Thank you once again for joining me on this channel as we just discussed the trending issue of woeful performance. 21, just less than 21, just about 21% of candidates scored above 200. That's awful, and well, we cannot overemphasize this, but we are just saying that the students, they should brace up, while the board should also learn great lessons, why even with or without Professor Oloyede, the board should learn. And then if there is need to get us to consult more experts who would also give better advice. Yes, it's not to enter into your archive or your API or to get into what you are doing to be able to get the secret behind your sources. But of course, there are still people who are out there. In my only to capacity, I know how far conducting CBT exams or conducting examination, what it takes, and the security measures that must be taken to ensure that there are no that we don't have sabotage, and in that case, that we have a better landing of sources in terms of taking CBT exams or any online exam. Pleasant wishes to all those who are still aspiring to enter into university, and wishing them well. And those who are hot, we pray God of heaven will be with them. And to JAMB Registrar, commiserate with you, and also give you that thumb up for being yourself and being that man, a courageous and bold man who always stand by truth and stand by what he stands for. Thank you so very much, and great Nigerians wish you it is well.